So today the next topic is representing the real number. So we already discussed that term, real number. Real means the number which is included in the all the number. Like in a real number we are consist of rational number, natural number, whole number, and all the number they are included in the real number. So we want to represent the real number on number line. So we already familiar with these two terms, real number as well as the number line. So in a number line you can already know that on the right hand side of the 0 we have the positive integers, on the left hand side of the integer, on the left hand side of the 0 we have the negative integer. So today we want to represent that real number on that number line. So our exercise 1.4 is totally depend on that topic, and we have the two question for that. So we can take that example. From that example you can easily understand that how can we represent the real number on the number line. So first question is visualize 3.765 on the number line using the successive magnification. That term is very important. Successive magnification. It means what? So first of all we can start with our number line. So here we have a 0, -1, -2, then 1, 2, 3 and 4, 5. So it is our number line. On a number line we have the 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 on the right hand side, negative integers on the left hand side. Now you can see that which number we want to represent on that number line. It will be 3.765. So from that you can easily see that what 3.765, it is between 3 and 4. It is between 3 and 4. So we can visualize like. We can visualize. Once again we can draw the one number line. Now here they are saying that what 3.765. So we can write like that 3.1, 3.2, 3.3, 3.4, 3.5, 6 onwards like that, 7, 8, 9, and here we have a 4. So we can say that between 3 and 4 we have one like that 3.1, 2, 3, 4, 5 up to 3.9. Once again see its second digit. First digit it is 3.7. So it is here 3.7. Now 76. So 76 is between which two number? 3.7 and 3.8. This number. So once again we can visualize. So once again we can draw the number line. Now so here 3.76. So it is between 3.7 and 3.8. It is between 3.7 and 3.8. So once again we can visualize. So it is like that 3.71, then 3.72, 3.73, 4, 5, 6, 7, 78, and last it will be 79. So it is between these two number 3.7 and 3.8. We have that kind of the all integer between them. Now see the last digit 765. So 765. So it is between that two number, because 76, then 300, 761, 762 like that. So once again we can visualize. So from them now we can write like that 3.761, then 62, 3.763, 764, 765, 766, 767, 8, and last it will be 769. So here which number we want to represent? It will be 3.765. So it is our number 300,765. So it is called what? Successive magnification. It is called successive magnification. So here if the digit is changed, suppose we can take the one more digit like 1.210. So we will use the same method. So first of all 1.2, so we can visualize 0 and 1, sorry 1 and 2, clear, we can visualize 1 and 2, then 1.1, 1.2, 1.3 like that, then 1.21, 22, 23 like that, and finally we have an 20, 210, 211 like that. So we can represent any of the number on that number line by using that method. It is called successive magnification method. So that topic is related which we can represent any of the real number on a number line, and we already defined that between these two number we have the infinite number. We cannot calculate how many number between these two number. So now question number 2. In a question number 2 it is similar to the question number 1, but there will be the little change. Here they are using the bar sign, see here. So it means what? We can already say that if bar is there, then these two digits are repeated. These two digits are repeated. But here they are using one more term, see here, up to the 4 decimal places. It means what? We can visualize up to the only the 4 decimal places. So it means what? We are using 4.2626. So after point we have the 4 decimal places, see 2626. So 1, 2, 3, 4. So it will be the 4 decimal places. If they are saying 3 or 2, so according to we can change that digit. Now once again we can represent that number on the number line. So we are using the same method. First of all we can draw the number line. So here we have a 0, then 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So see that 4.2, so it is lie between these two number 4.2. It is between 4 and 5. So once again we can visualize. So now we can draw the number line. So see that. So here we can start with 4.1, 4.2, 3, 4, 5, then 4.7 up to the 4.9. Now see that 4.26. So 26 is between 4.2 and 4.3. So once again it is between these two. So once again we can visualize. So we can draw the number line. Now we can write like that 4.21, 22, 23, 24, 25, 26, 7 up to 29. Now the next digit is what? 26. So 26 then 2. So it is between that two number. 261 then 262 like that. So once again we can visualize. So here we can start from 4.261. So 265, then 4.266, then 4.267, 4.268 and 4.269. Then next digit is what? See, 2626. So here we can see that 262, and then it will be the 6. So it is between these two numbers. So once again, finally we can represent that number on our number line. So here we can starting like that, 4.2621, then 4.2622, 4.2623, 2624, 2625, 2626, 2627, 2628, and last 2629. So we want to represent which number on our number line? It will be 4.2626. So here it will be 4.2626. So it is our answer. So that method we can use to represent any of the real number on the number line. So it is very easy method, and two more sum it will be given on the sole example. So it will be the similar like that example. So in this method we are directly represent that number on the number line by using the successive magnification. So on the next exercise we have the sum of the operation on real number. So actually in the maths we have the 4 operation, that is addition, subtraction, multiplication and division. So we want to perform that 4 operation on our real number. So real, either it is a rational or irrational, it is depend on that. So here we can conclude that if any rational number add to the irrational number, answer will be always irrational. Same thing will be in a subtraction also. If we subtract the irrational number from the rational number, once again answer it is irrational number. Same thing that will be happen in this both case also, in a multiplication as well as in division. If we multiply any of the rational to the irrational number, so same thing be that answer will be irrational, and last it will be in the division, same thing happen. If we divide any rational number with the irrational number, answer is always irrational number. So how can you understand that? So answer is always rational or irrational. So for that we have in exercise number 5 question number 1. In a question number 1 they are asking what? Classify the following number as a rational or a irrational. So see the first question. In the first question here 2, so we can write like that 2 upon 1. So if we write 2 upon 1, so it means what? It is a rational. But root 5 it is irrational number. So if we subtract irrational from a rational number, answer is always irrational. So from them we can clarify that if we can subtract any irrational number from a rational number, answer is always irrational number. Now in the second case, they are giving one bracket here. So first of all we can expand that bracket. So see here, that is plus under root 23, and here it is under root 23. So plus minus it will be cut. So here we have only get 3, answer is only 3, and we can also write like that 3 upon 1, because if we write 1 in the denominator, answer will be remain same, but it is in the rational form, p by q form. So once again it is rational. Now in the third case, what happens? See, here 2 upon root 7 and then 7 upon root 7. So once again it cut root 7. So we can get 2 by 7. So it is in a rational form, p upon q. So it is called which? This is called rational number once again. Then fourth, here it is root 2. So if we divide rational number with a irrational number, answer is always irrational number. Now in the last case they are giving us a pi. So generally the value of pi, it will be 22/7, and if we find the value of 22/7, so it will be approximately like 3.414, and the digits are continuous in a form, so it will be not terminating. So it means what? And if you find the value at your home, so you can clearly see that what? The value of pi is non-terminating as well as non-recurring. So we can find that pi is always irrational. So now if we multiply irrational number with a rational number, answer is always which? Irrational. So in that 4 cases we can clearly see that what? If we divide rational number with irrational number, answer is irrational. Once again, in the here multiplication operation, here we have the division operation, here we have the subtraction operation. So in all cases we can find that what? Answer is always irrational number. So now in a question number 2, they are saying that what? Simplify each of the following expressions. So here we have the sum of the, we need to simplify that. So for that, here we have a 2 bracket, 1 and 2. So in the previous classes we can see that what? 3 is multiplied with these both number. If we expand the bracket, so it means what? 3 are multiplied with these 2 bracket. Once again, root 3 is also multiplied with these 2 number. So we can write like that, 3, we can write all bracket, then with sign plus root 3. Once again we can write all bracket. Now simplify this. So 3 into 2, it will be 6. Now 3 into root 2 plus 2 into root 3 plus root 3 into root 2. So finally we can simplify like that, 6 plus 3 root 2 plus 2 root 3. So here these both are in the under root, square root. So it means what? We can multiply these both. So we can write like that, 3 2s are 6. So here they are using which method? In a previous standard we have the equation like that, if you remember. We can write like that, a plus b and c plus d. So what we can do, a is multiply with these both, and same b is also multiply with these both. So we can write like that, a in bracket c plus d plus b in bracket c plus d. So we can simplify. So ac plus ad plus bc plus bd. So that is one kind of the formula which is used in a previous standard. So same formula here we can apply. Simply expand the bracket and we can get its final answer. In question 2, see, once again we have 2 bracket. So we can use the same method, but here we have one pattern. If you see that, here what happened, the both bracket value are different. Here 3 plus root 3 and 2 plus root 2. But in this case what happens, see, 3 3 root 3 root 3. Sign will be changed, here plus and here we have a minus. So from them we are applying one formula, if you remember like that. Which formula? A plus b, a minus b. So if the value are same but sign are different in both bracket, so we can use that formula. So answer is what? A square minus b square. A square minus b square is equal to, we can write like that, a plus b, a minus b. So here it means in the reverse form. If we have an a plus b and a minus b, so we can also write like that, a square minus b square. So same formula here we can apply, a plus b, a minus b, a is equal to 3 and b is equal to root 3. So we can write that a square minus b square. So what is a square? 3 square, it will be 9, and here root 3 all square. So root 3, it means what? We can also write like that, 3 raised to 1 by 2. Root means, so here we can also write like that 3 upon 1 by 2 all raised to square, because here we have a square and root 3 represent what? 3 raised to 1 by 2. Now these both power are multiplied. If you remember that in exponents and power chapter, if we have the a raised to both, so here we can write like that mn. We can multiply these both. So we can also using here 9 minus 3 raised to 1 by 2 into 2. So 2 cut. So answer is 9 minus 3. So answer it will be 6. So if we squaring any square root, so square root will be cancelled. Simply we can say that what? If we square any of a square root, answer will be that number only. So here we get only 3. Now the next case. In the next case what happens? See, here once again we have one formula, if you remember. Which formula? A plus b all square. So we can use that formula, a plus b all square. So what is its formula? A square plus 2ab plus b square. First term square, 2 into first term into second term plus second term all square. So it will be in class 8. We have one formula like that. 1 a plus b all square is equal to a square plus 2ab plus b square. And if we have the minus sign here, so here we can change minus. So once again we can apply that formula in our question. So we can get like that a square plus 2ab plus b square. A means what? Root 5. B means what? Root 2. So a square, so root 5 all square, then 2. A into b, so a is equal to root 5 and b is equal to root 2. Then finally b square, so b square means what? Root 2 all square. So once again square root cut, so we can get only 5. And these both are multiplied, so root 10. And root 2 all square, once again square root cut, so it will be only 2. So 5 plus 2, so it will be 7. So what is our answer? 7 plus 2 root 10. So last question. In last question it is same as our question number 2. See, in the both case we have the same pattern, a plus b, a minus b. Same, a minus b, a plus b. So it means what? We are using the same method. So we can write like that. Here we are using that formula once again, a plus b, a minus b. So a square minus b square. So here we can write like that, a square minus b square. So once again square root cut. So 5 minus 2. So answer will be 3. So in that we are using actually the 3 formula in question number 2. If you see in question number 2, so first we can simply expand the bracket in first question, and second and fourth will be same. We are using that formula, a plus b, a minus b. So it will be a square minus b square. In our question number 3, we are using a plus b all square is equal to a square plus 2ab plus b square. Now question number 3. In a question number 3, first of all we can read that question. Recall the pi. So pi means what? We have the value of pi is equal to 22 by 7. We know that. And if we simplify, so it will be 3.47 like that. So here they are giving the definition of pi. See, pi is defined as the ratio of circumference. So circumference, they are saying that it will be c of a circle to its diameter. So it means what? They are define the value of pi. It is a ratio of circumference of a circle to the diameter of that circle. So it means what? We can represent the pi like that. Pi is equal to c by d. C means circumference and d means diameter. So now After giving the definition, they are asking one question. So this seems to be the contradict that the fact that the pi is irrational. So here we can see that what pi, it is in a form of p by q. So if it is in a p by q, so it is a rational. But we know that if we put the value of pi, so we can say that what it is not a rational form. Here p by q, see p is equal to 22 and q is equal to 7. But if we simplify that 22 by 7, so what we can get 3.471 like that. We have numbers of digit. So how can we say that it is a irrational? So for that we haven't give the one reason. So if we draw any of the circle, so you can see that what we can take diameter or radius. So in each case is what happen, it is different. If we want to draw the circle, so first of all we can take its radius. So if we take its radius, so we can take the measurement either 2 centimeter, 3 centimeter or 4. So what happen? So it will be fixed. But if we draw its circle, so it is called what? It is called its circumference. It is called its circumference. But if we draw the circle, so each time what happen? We can take the different measurement, either radius is equal to 2 centimeter, 3 or 4 or 5. So what happen? The each case the value of pi will be changed. It will be not fixed. So that reason, we can say that what? That reason is sufficient for proving that pi is a irrational number. So for that we can write it answer like that. There is no contradiction. There is no contradiction between them. Remember that when you measure the length with the scale or any other device, we can use either using the scale or any other device to measure that measurement. So you only get the approximate rational value. So you may not realize that either C or a D is irrational. So here we can declare that according to the definition, the value of pi will be the rational. But if we put the value, we can clearly realize that what? It will be the irrational. So in the question number 4, here they are saying that what? Represent under root 9.3. Which number? Under root 9.3. So now exercise 1.3 what? They are directly giving the value like 4.216 or 3.126. But here under root. So we can represent that under root value on the number line. So for that we have one method. So first of all what we can do? We can draw the one line up to 9.3. So we can take the scale. In scale, so under root 9.3 is very lesser value on the board. So I am simply drawing that line, and we can take that it will be 9.3 centimeter. So you can draw the line on your book which measurement is 9.3 centimeter. After drawing 9.3 centimeter, we can draw the one more centimeter. So it will be 1 centimeter. So first of all what we can do? First of all we can draw the 9.3 centimeter on number line, and then we can draw the one more centimeter. So that will be the total 10.3 centimeter. Now we want to find out its bisector. Bisector means what? We want to find out its midpoint. So finding the midpoint. So in a previous standard you have in the chapter like a construction in a 6th or 7th standard. So we have in the line measurement is like that. So we can take the more than the half. So it will be the half. So it will be the more than half. We can draw the one measurement here, and we can draw the one line. So in the upper side as well as in the lower side. Then from that point once again we can draw the one line. So here that is a bisector line. That arc it is called what? Bisector line. Now we can join these two lines like that using the scale. So first of all we can give its name so you can easily understand. It is called AB and that is called our point C. We can also expand that line. Now that point it is called its bisector point, means it is a half of that all line. It is a half of 10.3. So we can represent that point as O. Now from O we can take the radius of OA, that is OA, and then we can draw half circle. Then we can draw its half circle. So here we can say that what? Here we can see that what? It is joining at point C. It is joining at point C. After joining that point, from B we can draw the one perpendicular line. Perpendicular means what? Exactly the 90 degree. So it is exactly at the 90 degree C. Now last step is what? From B take the measurement of that up to that point. So we can also declare that point as a D. That point as a D. So take the radius of BD and take one more arc on our number line, and we can declare that point it is our E. So BE is always the value of under root 9.3. So now we can write its step. So first step, first of all what we can draw? Draw 9.3 centimeter line denoted AB. First of all we can draw 9.3 centimeter line and we can denote that line as AB. Then draw BC is equal to 1 centimeter. So it is our first step. First of all what we can do? We can draw the AB is equal to 9.3 and then BC is equal to 1 centimeter. Now what we can do? We can draw its bisector, second step. So take from point A, what we can do? Take from the point A, we can take the measurement more than half. So from point A, draw bisector on above and below the number line. From the A, then we can draw the one arc from A. Same from C also. So same from C also draw bisector, and we can declare that line as M and N. So now join MN, then we can join this line MN. So join MN and find O on number line. If we join these two lines, so we can find point O on our number line. So now we can take the radius. The radius is OA, and then we can draw the half circle. So take radius OA and draw the half circle. After drawing that half circle from B, we can draw the perpendicular. So next step is, so it is declared as our step number 3, and then step number 4. From B, draw the bisector. From the B, draw the bisector. Now take radius BD and draw the arc on number line which represent point as point E. Then we can take the arc BD and then it's cut that number line on point E. Now measure BD, BE. So B is always the value of 9.3 centimeter. So once again we can repeat that step. First of all, we can draw that line up to the AB 9.3, then B to C it will be the 1 centimeter. Then we can take the radius more than the half. So we can take the one arc from point A and one arc from point C. After joining that both arc, we can find the point MN. So we can join this MN, so it intersect our number line on point O. Then take the point O and draw the half circle. So from point B, then next we can draw the perpendicular from point B and then take the measurement as a BD that intersect on our number line at E. So if you measure this, so B is always, the measurement is under root 9.3. So now the next question, in the next question what we can see, rationalize the denominator. So rationalize means what? We can rationalize its denominator term. So it is very easy. So how can we rationalize that denominator? So let's start our question number 1. 1 upon under root 7. So first of all we can write 1 upon under root 7. Now we want to rationalize denominator term. So it is multiply and divide with under root 7. So here in a denominator if we have a root 7, so we are multiplying and divide with root 7. And here if we have a root 5, so we are multiplying with root 5 and divide with root 5. Next, root 7 into 1, so it will be root 7. Now root 7 into root 7, so we can write like that, root 7 all square, because 2 times. Now square root, cut. So what is our answer? Root 7 upon 7. So now you can see that what? It is rationalized because under root is removed. So it is rationalized. Now question number 2. Once again, so in that question you can see that what? Here we have only under root 7. Here under root 7 minus under root 6. So we are using sorts. So in a sorts, in a previous standard, you can perform the step like that. Under root. So here we have a with sign. Between them it will be the minus sign. So we are taking the sorts of plus sign. And if we have the plus sign, so we are using the sorts of a minus. So next, so root 7 plus root 6 into 1, so it will be same, root 7 plus root 6 upon. Once again you can see that a minus b, a plus b. So we are using directly its formula, a square minus b square, because a plus b, a minus b, so it will be a square minus b square. Next, so root 7 square root cut, same thing will be happen here. So 7 minus 6, so root 7, so it will be answer 1. So if you know, so final if you not writing the 1 in the denominator, so there will be no change in our answer. So finally we can get root 7 plus root 6. Next, in the next sum, in a third sum, see that root 5 plus root 2. So same stem, first of all we can take surds. So root 5 minus root 2, and here we are using formula a plus b, a minus b, because a plus b, a minus b. So root 5 minus root 2, square root once again cut, 5 minus 2, so it will be 3. So once again the denominator is rationalized now. And in the last question it is the same, in question number 4. Here it is same as question number 2, but there is a little change. Here both term having the square root. In the last case what happened? 2 will be remain same. So once again 7 minus 2. So we can take the surds of plus. So numerator term will be same, and denominator we have a formula like that, a plus b, a minus b. So a square minus b square. Now square root cut. So 7 and 2 square, it will be 4. So under root 7 plus 2, it will be 3. So once again it is rationalized. So in 4 sum, you can clearly see that what? In the denominator rationalized. Here once again denominator is rationalized, and in this both case denominator is also rationalized. So we are, if we want to rationalize the denominator, so we can take the surds. We can take its surds. So in the last exercise we have the laws of exponents for the real number. So we can already learn that law in our previous standard. Here first law is what? Both have a same number but power is different. So both are in the multiplication, so we can perform addition. Once again number is same but power is different, but here we have so both are in the division, so we are using subtraction. So if both are in the multiplication, so we can use addition of power, and if both are in the division, so we can subtract that power. Third law, so it in the multiplication, both power are multiplied. And last, power is same but number are different. So what we can do? Multiply this both number and all have the same power. So these 4 laws are very important for our last exercise, exercise number 1.6. So now we are going to start our last exercise, exercise number 1.6. In that exercise the question number 1 is find. Find means you need to find that value. So first question is 64 raised to 1 by 2. So 64 means what? We can write like that, 8 square all raised to 1 by 2. Because 64 means what? 8 8s are. So we can write 8 square. Now 2 cut. So what is its answer? 8. Next 32. 32 means what? We can write like that, 2 into 2 into 2 into 2 into 2, 5 times 2. So we can write like that, 2 raised to 5 all raised to 5. So 5 cut. So 2 raised to 1. So answer is 2. Last question 125. So 5 into 5 into 5. So 5 5s are 25. 25 5s are 125. So we can write like that, 5 raised to 3 all raised to 1 by 3. 3 cut. 5 raised to 1. So answer is 5. So from that question you can realize that what? If we remove that power, so we can find, suppose here we want to remove the 2. So that's why we can write 8 square. Here we want to remove the 5. So that's why we can write 2 raised to 5. And here we want to remove the 3. So that's why we can write 5 raised to 3. Now in a question number 2, once again find. So here we want to remove 2. So we can write like that 3 square all raised to 3 by 2. So we can also write like that 3 raised to 2 into 3 by 2. So 2 cut. So 3 raised to 3. So it means 3 times 3. So 3 3s are 9, 9 3s are 27. Once again 32 raised to, see we want to remove the 5. So we can write like that 2 raised to 5 all raised to 2 by 5. So 5 cut. So 2 square. So 2 into 2. Answer is 4. Now third question. Here we want to remove the 4. So for 4, 2 into 2 into 2 into 2. So 2 2s are 4, 2s are 8, 2s are 16. So here we can write like that 2 raised to 4 all raised to 3 by 4. So 4 cut. So 2 raised to 3. So 3 times 2. So answer is 8. Last 125. So we can write like that 5 raised to cube all raised to 1 by 3. So 3 cut. So 5 raised to minus 1. So we can also write like that 5 raised to 1 upon 5. Because if power is going on to the numerator term, so it will be plus, and 5 raised to 1, so it will be 5 only. So from these 4 sum, we can remove the denominator power. So according to the denominator, we can set here. Here 9, so 3 raised to 2. So once again 2 cut. Here 5, so 2 raised to 5. 5 will be cut. Here 4, so 2 raised to 4. So 4 will be cut. Now in our last question, we are using that 4 law. So simplify. So in the first, what happened? See here, 2 raised to 3 by 5 and 2 raised to 1 by 5. So both have a same number, but power is different, and these both terms are in the multiplication. So power will be in the addition. First law. Clear? It is first law. Now see that both have the same denominator. So 5 is our LCM, and in the numerator we have 3 plus 1. So what we can get? 2 raised to 4 by 5. What is our answer? 2 raised to 4 by 5. Next, in question number 2, see that all raised to 7. So here we can write like that 1 raised to 7 upon 3 raised to 3 all raised to 7, because we can apply this power to the both term, numerator as well as in the denominator term. But if 1 raised to 7, so answer will be 1, because 7 times 1, 1 ones are 1 ones are 1 ones are 1 ones are 1, like that. So we can get 1. Now 7 3s are, it will be 21. So what is our answer? 1 upon 3 raised to 21. Next, here see that both number are same, but in the division. So in the division, what we can do? Subtraction. So we can write like that 11 raised to 1 by 2 minus 1 by 4. Here we are applying which rule? A raised to m upon a raised to n. So it will be a raised to m minus n. And in first, here we are using which law? A raised to m, a raised to n. So it is to m plus n. And here we are applying which law? A upon b all raised to m is equal to a raised to m upon b raised to m. Now in the third case, see the numerator are different. So first of all, we can take the LCM. So here 11 raised to 1 into 2 into 2 upon 4, because in denominator we need a 4, so we are multiplying with 2. So 11 raised to 2 upon 4 minus 1 upon 4. Now 11, 4, once again 4 is our LCM, and 2 minus 1. So 11 raised to 1 by 4. Now last question. See the last question. Number are different, but power are same. See, 7 raised to 1 by 2 and 8 raised to 1 by 2. Last question. 7 raised to 1 by 2, 8 raised to 1 by 2. So it means what? We can write like that
7 into 8 all raised to 1 by 2. We can use which law? A raised to m, b raised to m. So we can write ab all raised to m. So 7 8 is 56. So 56 raised to 1 by 2. So in the last question, we are applying all the exponents and power law in our real number.